I just don't see myself as a celebrity, but I see all these celebrities like Billie Eilish or like Haley Williams, and like they are so outspoken and they know exactly, it seems like they have everything figured out. And I always thought that I had to figure out myself first before, but I probably am past the point where I've figured myself out a lot, and I've learned who I am a lot, to the point where I can, maybe, I am open-minded to it. Like, maybe I can help. Like, I tend to undermeasure myself, underestimate myself. And it's like, I've been put in that position before. I'm like, man, am I good enough? Am I competent enough to do this? And I realize usually when I think that in those instances, I am a perfect fit for it. And I really undermeasure myself. But my dad also offered for me to take this position at one of the medical clinics that I have to look into, where you get to be a concierge. Whatever you call it. Person at the desk, starts with a C.
Like a receptionist?
Yeah, receptionist.
Okay.
R word.
Yeah. There's a strong C in there, though. So somewhere in an office building? Or a medical office building?
Yeah, and I was open to that. So it's like, yeah, if this security thing doesn't work out, and like, he said there's shifts in Berkeley, so I have hope, but it's like he's offering to work at the A's Stadium, and I'm like, it's too far, and he offered something at San Francisco. I was like, nah, it's too far, I can't commute. So it's like, I'm able to let go of this profession. I'm not attached to it, but I'm worried most over the fact of the sustainability of, it's only been a month, and I think about this time thing, and it's like, a month is like, I heard the press secretary in a press briefing today from the White House talk about how the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley, has been working with the president for 8 months. And it doesn't sound like a lot of time, but if you really think about it, that's a lot in my world and time. It's like only 8 months, and then like, okay, only a month security over here, and it's not really too far from the world. Like, there's not really a disconnect of reality. It's like, this really is my reality and my world that's happening.
So, do you have any idea if you'll get any more shifts?
Yeah, I think I will. But I just don't think about it. I think about how I'm a lot more stable and smoother, that I'm not working the shifts where I'm overworking myself. And I was able to handle it. I didn't lose it taking graveyard shifts 8 to 12 hours on a regular basis. I did not lose it. You did a lot,
and those are really hard. For a lot of people, they're really hard.
And I came back somehow. I recuperated some type of superhuman thing that
they
put in me.
Well, that's something to feel proud of.
I don't know, to be honest, Julie, I don't feel... I think about that pride thing, and it's like, what difference does it make when someone says, I'm proud of you? And that's like what you're supposed to say, but it's like, I just stray away from it. It's
well, yeah. I mean, however, I don't want to tell you how you should feel. It's just, that does seem impressive to me.
No, I'm not saying that you are, but...
And you noticed it, too, that you were able to get through it.
Yeah, but it's like, at the expense that I don't give myself enough credit for what I've done. I don't credit myself for being able to quickly, like expeditiously get a license, and once I got it registered in the same amount of time with that, and credit myself that I was able to handle the 8 to 12 hour shifts and not cry like a kid and be like, I can't do this, chief, I can't do this, boss. Like, no, there's not a single time that I said I couldn't do this. I got the job done, and I guess I'm in reflection mode, and I'm a lot smoother now that I came out. And I think the biggest thing that comes to my head in terms of stuff being resounding and like words that I don't know the word for it, like stuff that registers is the proving thing. Can I prove to myself that I can do this? And I don't think I'm at a weird phase. It's just I just don't think of anything about it. Maybe I need more time, but I don't realize what's happening basically. I just that's as deep as I go into any of this whole thing. I won't get into rabbit holes. I can even shift really onto different things.
So can I make sure I understand what you mentioned something about cutting back on your meds, and that was because were you feeling too like sedated or kind of numbed out, or what was the experience that was leading you to think you needed to change?
I think about Alex Schaller, her stage name Alice in Wonderland. I think, how do these DJs have so much energy? And they're a little bit, they're pretty cooped up. They're a little bit crazy, to be honest. Just like Amber Giles, just Miha. They're both DJs. They're pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie. And I think to myself, if I was off meds, wouldn't I just be like that? And I feel like I'm receptive and accepting after all these years towards taking medication still. And Kanye West didn't want to tell Charlemagne the God, his interviewer, what medication he's taking. Kendrick Lamar doesn't want to talk about medication. Nobody wants to talk about medication. And I feel like I'm okay with it, but I realize that I have to grow up and not take as much as I think that I need to, and like be on this regimen. Like I don't think it's necessary at this point. I think I've always tackled being off medication many times. I've tackled withdrawal a lot, and I think I'm just at this point where I have to use it moderately, and so that's what I'm doing, I suppose.
I mean, you get that injection once a month anyway, right?
It's 200 milligrams per month. I have no qualms with facing that, and it's like that's pretty much evening me out. It's like 16 milligrams apart from that is almost really nothing. So it's like
the other meds are what? What are the ones that you take that are oral?
Aripiprazole and benztropine.
Okay, those are the two.
Benztropine helps with the muscle movements, the dyskinesia, which is still subtle. So that's like I've been taking 1 milligram of medication for the past maybe week, and I know a lot of artists that it would be difficult for them to face talking about that. And I do wonder which musicians in the music industry do take medication.
A lot of them, I would guess, but who knows? There's probably not that many people open about it.
To be honest, it's never been publicly expressed, which is glaring, and it's unbelievable. And it makes you look at it in this prism of like it doesn't even happen. Like no one needs medication.
That's why it's helpful for people that do have those experiences to speak out, if they feel comfortable. That's why it can be so transformative.
Yeah, it's this wool being pulled over people's eyes to think that, everyone's just smoking and drinking and they're fine. And drug issues have always been prevalent in the industry, but I'm willing to shift again into different. So there's not really much on my mind. In terms of fun stuff, it's like I don't know. I just felt like I'm supposed to be working, and work never really was fun. And there's like this sort of servitude and duty to do it. And
Okay.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
It's just very solemn. It's a little bit surprising myself to see myself in a different stripe, in a different stroke, and a brush.
Yeah.
To see how stable I am, just been very manic before, and it's just I don't see myself as different masks. I don't see myself as different characters or personalities. I think I really genuinely believe that I'm one person, and I definitely have different colors and stripes, and yeah.
You're not feeling manic these days?
No.
No.
Not really.
It seemed like maybe there were moments when you were working those shifts that it was a little bit closer to that, like when I would see you.
Yeah, I would get the natural worker's high out of it. It was a challenge for me. It was stressful, and it's something I realized is that you have to know where you are on the line on the scale, and I was definitely towards the edge of the scale, more so than most people would just moderately be stressed and not overwork themselves all the way, but I was on the edge, but I managed it. I don't know why. It's just my work ethic is higher, and my stress levels are higher. So like I couldn't just say, oh, it's stressful, but I'm getting through it. No, it was definitely a challenge. Yeah, I just don't know what to talk about.
You went to a group last week, right?
Yeah.
How was that?
I don't think about it. It's I wish there were more people.
You wanted more people there.
Yeah, it's just something to do, and it's just social inclusion and social interaction really helps you out.
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't do well because I'm a human being without social interaction. And it's like, I feel like I sealed a lot of stuff that I wanted to discuss, and I'm just open to talk about anything really. It's like,
You been going to church?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that right now. I've decided to not pursue a relationship with that certain girl whose name I will not reference because it's just too difficult. It's not worth. I see in relationships, if I go after something, how difficult will it be to maintain that relationship, and it's on a very difficult scale.
For that one.
Yeah. Just because her personal decisions and what she does is incurring of, she finds interest in me, but she wants to keep a distance, most definitely, from her own personal decisions, and I respect that. And I think it's definitely time for me to take a more mature route and perspective over someone who's 5 years older than me, and kind of get a grip with this and let it go. It's definitely not, I find what you're doing inappropriate, and I find what you've done and are doing to be something where I don't want you to be in this zone, like it's across the line. It's definitely not like that. But it's more so something like, I need space, and it's cool talking to you, but if we're going to pursue this, then it's going to have to be something very seriously intimate. And that's not something either of us are willing to do, so.
So does it make you feel different about going to church? You still go? Still want to go?
No, I don't go to church for that, and it's a spiritual. I'm maturing at these rates where it's like I'm learning the service of going to church and serving God and having these spiritual duties. They talk about they've actually discussed this a lot of times during the sermons about you shouldn't be pursuing these types of worldly things, and you have a service to do, and that's the hard, serious, unfun truth that I've come to understand for quite a while. Ever since I was in apartments in San Francisco, there was always this duty, which comes back to the presency of like, it's not something you do for fun. Like, this is something that's just in your duty and service, and I really am serving every day. And it doesn't have to be like religion or politics, to get that point across. I'm finding more and more politics, like calling yourself a Democrat, Independent, Republican. It's never really resonated with me. I feel like it's like calling yourself a Christian. I was thinking about that, and it's like it's just a label, really, and it's like, and then it becomes very complicated because label is defining you, and so I find that I just don't lean towards. I'm just left center. And I look more in political spectrums than representing yourself in a party. It's like, I just look at it like a spectrum. And I guess if I could connect that back to, I don't know what I'm connecting it back to. I guess it's what you call yourself politically versus religiously, and not needing a label to define.
Yeah.
What was I talking about? Not leading a label.
Your reason to go to church and what it means to you.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, that removes my fun, but it keeps me focused. It's for my own good.
Yeah. That's good. Good then. If it's for your own good.
It's for my own good.
Helps you sustain.
Who knows? Maybe as girls do, they change a lot in their perspectives. I remember when, I think I've told you before, Nikki Tate, I met in college class in Berkeley City College, and I went to her house, and it was fun, and she drank and smoked. I guess I drank a little, and then it just never works out like Eminem. It just never works out. And then the day after, or a few days later, so I've been in these fiascos for quite a long time. It's definitely a process, and then ultimately she ended in her saying, look, what we did, that was more of a sting. She said was inappropriate.
It was inappropriate. Oh.
And it was very contradictive, because it was very mutual, and then they just switch up like that. So that's how I've come to understand the opposite sex, to switch up. I don't really switch up, but I felt energy like the chick from my church was switching up on me, and she was going to hit me with something like, you know, why did you do that, and what we were doing wasn't right, and whatnot. Because I know the difference between her from this church is that I know she enjoyed the interactions I've spent with her.
You could tell.
Yeah, you can definitely tell, and she can't use it against me.
Right.
It's not possible for her to use it against me at this point, but I could allow that to happen if I don't. Aaron taught me to always defend myself whenever someone attacks my character.
Who's Aaron?
Aaron is my mentor. A lot of spiritual. He was like a prophet. I myself am kind of like a prophet, but he was a lot wiser than me, and he taught me how to live. Taught me how to. I experienced that at a younger time frame than most people, at 18, to be able to come out of my house and live in San Francisco. Some people that takes like 20 to 21 or whatever, and now I'm on the opposite side where I'm trying to go back to that type of lifestyle. And that's how much time do we have?
That's a good question. How does it feel to be being videotaping yourself? Does it feel any different knowing that you can watch it?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't feel different. Okay. For some reason, it grounds me a lot more, and I pay attention to the fact that I'm not trying to put on a facade, and like somehow it makes you go into your character a lot more genuinely.
It may be helpful.
Yeah.
So you're
gonna. 15 minutes?
It's about. Sorry, I didn't even tell you. I looked at it and then put it away.
Oh, I
10 minutes. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
10 minutes. So. You're meeting with Lisette tomorrow. Do you know what you're going to do? Do you have goals that you're working on with her? or you're just gonna figure that out?
No, I discuss goals with you and like the serious stuff.
Yeah.
Lizette's kind of just like talking to a friend. It's just
Well,
like,
she's a peer mentor, so.
yeah, that's her job. That's
Right.
it. What we do fits her title as a peer mentor. It's definitely her doing her job. It's like a firefighter fights fire. The medic helps people. And like, yeah, it definitely fits in the calendar.
So no plan for tomorrow, just whatever you
Oh,
feel
no.
like dealing with. Yeah.
I'm not thinking about tomorrow. I'm thinking about just these abstract, complex dimensions of like the day to day and like.
Is it harder to not be working in some ways?
I always feel like I am working, but just not in the ways that I want to. Like, it's not as fulfilling as working security or like an actual job. I think it would be fulfilling if I worked that receptionist job as well.
Yeah.
So I'm freed.
Yeah.
I'm freed, and I feel a lot smoother. There was a period where I have to access and ask myself, am I gonna break? And I didn't break, and I came to this point. So
Yeah, you didn't break.
I should be grateful for all these things.
Yeah. So you're gonna wait and see if you get any shifts offered to you, and you're gonna think about applying for